William Ruto wants to sell the airport.
Your Excellency, how can we sell our airport?
You have to be insane.
How can we take 14 airstrips and give them to an Indian company? What is he?
Adani, one of the world's richest people.
Why should they sell our heritage at this moment?
What is this Adani bringing to Kenya?
A $150 billion meltdown.
Am I a madman?
Fraud and stock price manipulation.
Most of you were introduced to this guy by this guy after news broke of their controversial deal that happened behind Kenyans' backs. Allegedly. From small beginnings to global magnate, controversies, and the famous JKIA saga, meet Gautam Adani, one of the most influential billionaires in modern history. He is a figure who inspires admiration yet provokes heated controversies in equal measure. From humble beginnings in Gujarat, India, to commanding a global empire spanning from energy, ports, airports, and more, Adani's dramatic rise to fame and fortune is the kind you only hear from legends. Yet this extraordinary success story is also marked by allegations of fraud, international scandals, and controversial business practices. None more contentious than his recent entanglement with Kenya's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA. So, who is Adani and what is it about him? To begin this story in an easy way, we begin with a childhood story. Gautam Adani was born in June 24, 1962. He grew up in a modest household in Ahmedabad area in Gujarat, India. His entrepreneurial instincts emerged early on, abandoning college just after 2 years to move to Mumbai, where he worked in a diamond trade before returning to Gujarat to join his brother's plastic business. Adani had a pretty normal childhood, needless to say. It is in his adulthood that he changed his entire life trajectory with his businessmanship. In 1988, Adani found Adani Exports, initially focusing on commodity trading. However, the company later evolved to Adani Group, a conglomerate with interest in power generation, ports, renewable energy, and infrastructure. Adani's big break came in the early 2000s when his group won the contract to operate Mundra Port, now India's largest private port. His aggressive expansion mirrored India's economic growth. His ventures into renewable energy aligned with the global trends of the time, making him a darling of international investors and policymakers. By 2022, things were going great for Adani as he briefly became the world's third richest person, with a net worth surpassing $150 billion. Just to give you a rough picture of how rich he is, Kenya is worth $116.32 billion. That means Adani surpasses the entire GDP of Kenya and will still have $33 billion. However, while Adani was rising through the global ranks of wealth to become a business magnate like no other, something was happening that could risk it all for him. There was growing scrutiny about his rapid rise to fame and fortune. Critics started alleging that Adani's success was fueled by close ties to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, ties that date back to Modi's tenure as Gujarat's chief minister. As more whispers and rumors spread, Adani's empire grew like wildfire, spanning across the globe and operating in over 50 countries. His influence extended beyond business as he became a key player in India's geopolitical strategy, with investments in ports and logistics hubs critical to the country's trade ambitions. Yet, Adani's methods continued to be questioned. In 2023, Heidelberg Research published a damning report accusing the group of stock manipulation, accounting fraud, and improper use of offshore entities to inflate its valuation. The report led to a massive sell-off, wiping out over $100 billion in market value for the group. Although Adani dismissed the allegations as an attack on India, the controversy dented his reputation. Further on, in August 2024, Adani found himself in more trouble. The US Department of Justice charged Adani with orchestrating a $250 million bribery scheme to secure contracts in India. These allegations, coupled with ongoing probes in India and international markets, put Adani Group on shaky ground. The alleged bribery further plummeted stock prices and investors started withdrawing their investments from Adani Group. As if that is not enough, Moody's, a global rating agency that provides credit rating for debt issuers and investors, issued warnings against Adani, and major partners like the GQG Partners and LLC scaled back their investments from Adani Group. This series of controversy and drama have since led to a drop of Adani's overall net worth from the initial $150 billion to a staggering $59.8 billion. Yeah, this is a lot of money, but for a man of Gautam Adani's stature, the massive drop by half of what he was worth is damaging. With all the signs clear, Adani would have stopped there, but no, as he would get himself in another controversy. Enters the JKIA takeover. In the mid-2024, news broke that Kenya's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA, was set to enter a 30-year lease agreement with Adani Group. The deal was presented as a public-private partnership PPP designed to upgrade Kenya's busiest airport at no initial cost to taxpayers. However, the proposal quickly became a flashpoint for criticism. Kenyan politicians questioned the transparency of the deal, accusing the government of sidelining local bidders and circumventing due process. In an effort to cool the heat, Kenyan government released a statement that no binding agreement had been signed yet.
William Ruto wants to sell the airport. Am I a madman? What we want to do in the airport is to work under the PPP program to bring in private sector money, blend it with public sector investment to be able to create an outcome that brings win-win.
But this did little to placate critics. Activists and jurists filed a lawsuit to block the deal, alleging that Adani's intended to use JKIA title deed as collateral for loans, potentially exposing Kenyan taxpayers to more financial risks. The petition also highlighted violation of Kenya's PPP laws, pointing to the involvement of UAE-based firm linked to undisclosed Kenyan partners. This news further rose tension between citizens and government, particularly against President Ruto, who at the time was very unlikable given his attempts to introduce an exploitative financial bill which led to the June 25th anti-finance bill protests, which by the way was so messy, with the government using police and military force to shoot live bullets on peaceful protestants. As usual, Kenyan citizens took to social media using hashtags like #HandsOffJKIA to express their frustration. Many saw the deal as emblematic of a broader pattern of prioritizing foreign investors over national interests, while others plainly saw it as Ruto's gimmick to auction the airport to his friends. The JKIA controversy placed President William Ruto's administration under intense scrutiny. Opposition leaders seized the moment, calling for mass protests and accusing the government of mortgaging Kenyan sovereignty. For Ruto, the timing couldn't be worse. Already facing criticism over rising inflation and unemployment, the JKIA saga only amplified public discontent. The secrecy surrounding the deal has eroded trust in the government, with many Kenyans demanding greater transparency and accountability. The pressure from the opposition as well as citizens forced Ruto to halt and cancel the Adani deal altogether. This was very necessary as the deal was becoming so controversial, fueling more public outrage, lawsuits, and accusations that the government is bypassing due process and allowing financial exploitation from an already controversial business person. Now, given the controversial fraud allegations surrounding Adani way before this deal, it left many people wondering why the arrangement was entertained by the Kenyan government in the first place. Altogether, the JKIA controversy, along with charges in the US, have chilling global effects on the future of partnerships for Adani Group worldwide. What What we can take away is Gautam Adani's life is a study of contrasts, as it is a tale of ambition and achievement shadowed with allegations of wrongdoings. There are patterns of questionable financial practices, allegedly extending beyond India's borders, coupled with accusations of fraud that paint a picture of a businessman willing to use underhanded tactics to expand his empire. And this not only attracts international scrutiny, it also poses a critical question. Can Adani's legacy withstand the mounting challenges, or will his empire crumble under the weight of controversy? As Adani's global reputation hangs in the balance, this story is far from over. What remains is that the stakes are high and the world is watching.